Hey, this is Brian the Figure. Now, I want to talk about my wish list, more specifically the DC action figure wish list. Something that's affordable and, something that I can buy from retailer stores nearby. So, like non-import, just something that's made and easily accessible in USA. So something like McFarlane Toys or Mattel even. So I'm talking either Mattel or McFarlane Toys. And I want them to make the DC action figures that I have not yet seen so far. The first one on the list I want them to make is Dan Mora's Batman. Because there are parts from other Batman figures that can make this figure happen. So, there's No Man's Land Batman, of course, but there's this belt that's on Batman Superman Fusion action figure. This particular belt can be used for Dan Mora's version of Batman. So, yeah, they just gotta make that. And Dan Mora's Superman, that would be cool. And when it comes to Dan Mora's Superman, I think they should reuse that Page Puncher's Superman, like the Black Adam Page Puncher's Superman. Use that as a mold because it looks a lot like Dan Mora's version. So maybe use that mold for Batman too, even. Just saying. The next figure I want them to make is Metamorpho. Yes, they made the movie version, but he just looks really weird. I just prefer it to go on clearance first, and then I'll buy it because it's a little expensive right now. Maybe too expensive. So I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale first. But I want a comic version. Because, come on, McFarlane loves to make weird-looking characters. And he can easily do that with Metamorpho. The next figure I want them to make is Superpowers Joker. He still hasn't made a classic Joker in Superpowers style. It's amazing to me how he never got one. We got a bunch of Superpowers Batman figures, but not Joker. We got Bat Joker, but not classic Joker. Make that make sense. The next one I want them to make is Peacemaker's Judo Master. Because this guy is a fun character in Peacemaker. And a really cool thing about him is he never takes off his costume throughout the entire series. So I happen to like his outfit too. He is also somewhat a good guy. His morals are a little iffy, kind of weird, but I think he's a good guy. And the accessory should be a bag of chips, like Cheetos or something. It's part of his character, just eating a small bag of chips somewhere. It's pretty funny. And then the next funny character, which is the Peacemaker character, and it is Vigilante. Because this dude is hilarious. They just made Peacemaker, so now they have to make this guy. He's been this supporting character for so long, so yeah, they have to make him. He's sort of like Deadpool, except he's not a metahuman. And he doesn't look like Freddy Krueger, like with all burned up shit all over his skin. And what makes him great is his ridiculous humor. He's kind of like a parody of a masked superhero. They gotta give him unmasked alternate head, and I want them to sculpt a smile on his face, which will actually enhance the figure so much. If people have watched the series, they would buy 2 of Vigilante figures, as he has met his other self in alternate dimension. This is another moneymaker for McFarlane. The next one is the DC Multiverse 1989 Jack Nicholson's Joker. Okay. He owns the likeness rights, Jack Nicholson. So, unfortunately, Warner Brothers do not own the 1989 Jack Nicholson likeness of Joker in the movie, 1989 Batman movie. And so, Jack Nicholson totally owns it. He owns the likeness. And so, if McFarlane wants to make one, they have to pay royalty to Jack Nicholson. And, you know, they cannot pay Warner Brothers, because if it was Warner Brothers that owned the likeness, we would have easily gotten one by now. But because Warner Brothers gave that right to Jack Nicholson is the one who owns this likeness right when it comes to Joker. So anything that looks like him, anything like any color or any shape of his face or anything that looks like Joker, that is Jack Nicholson's Joker, unfortunately. So the real head scratcher is that Hot Toys and Beast Kingdom and Mezco were able to make figures, Joker action figures, made to look like Jack Nicholson's Joker, which I find very strange. I don't know how they do it. Since it is so difficult to get his likeness rights, they should try to find a loophole around it. You know, kind of like what Toy Biz did with the 1989 Joker. I don't think Toy Biz had to do anything or pay anything for Jack Nicholson at the time. I think they found a way around it. I think they should make it look almost like Jack Nicholson, but different enough that he can't win in court using his likeness. You know what I mean? So they got to do something like Toy Biz want. That's the way to do it. Do it something like Toy Biz, and McFarlane can just call the figure Toy Biz Joker, which is essentially Jack's Joker, but different enough, you know. Okay, now moving on to the next one. I want them to make Poison Ivy Hush version with the green skin and red hair. I want that. That would look really good as an action figure. I think maybe the movie Poison Ivy can work as a Hush Poison Ivy. I think it can work. We'll see. But they should just try to make that. I think a lot of people would be very, very excited for that. And then the next one is another Hush line. And I want them to make Catwoman, Hush Catwoman. I don't know if they're going to do the goggles like that. Maybe they will, but I think they should. But it has to look like, you know, Jim Lee's artwork. So hopefully they'll make that. The next one I want them to make is Nightwing, again, from the Hush series. This Nightwing has to be on the same mold that he has always been on, you know, the disco ball outfit and the other one, I don't know what it's called, but that mold, just use that body for Hush Nightwing and make sure his face sculpt is really good. Like, make sure it looks exactly like him in the comics. I think I would buy it instantly, in a heartbeat. I actually have a Mafex Nightwing Hush, and Hush Nightwing, and it's still like the greatest figure ever made. So if they make one for a 7-inch line, that'll be great too, because I want that. Now, another figure they never made is Etrigan. Well, actually, they did make Etrigan, but he was in an armor type of body, and he's a little thin. This time, they need to start using Dark Knight Returns body mold and use that for Etrigan. And, this time, make Etrigan, like actually Etrigan. And give him like a torn cloth cape. Like, it will sell like hotcakes, I guarantee you. Everybody would want that. So make that, please, McFarlane. And then the next one would be the last one. I swear, is the last one on the list. And it'll be George Perez's Wonder Woman. And what I mean by that is I want it to be classic Wonder Woman, not the collector edition classic Wonder Woman. I mean, not like the 1930s, 1940s classic Wonder Woman. I mean, classic Wonder Woman in like the 80s, maybe 90s, where George Perez was writing and drawing comics for Wonder Woman. And that's the look I want made into an action figure. It's, with the curved W's on her brassiere area, and the panties with the stars on, and actually give her classic boots, not don't do any liberties to it like what collector edition was. Just make it flat, give her flat soles, and that's the Wonder Woman I want. And make sure she has crazy curly hair, kind of like one of those like the She-Hulk from Marvel Legends Hasbro, where she has like huge crazy curly hair. That's what McFarlane should be making for Wonder Woman. And I'm telling you, it will sell like hotcakes as well. Guarantee you. Alright. Well, that's it for the list. A lot of my other list contains a lot of Superman stuff. So I want to make a separate video of that because I have way more figures I want McFarlane to make. And those are a lot of Superman stuff. So that's, yeah. Well, what do you think of my wish list? This list is pretty much non-Superman list. But when I make the next list, it's going to contain a lot of Superman action figures. And you'll see why. But for now, this is the list, non-Superman list. And these are the figures I really want. The next video will be the Superman action figure list. And yeah, so what is your wish list? What do you want them to make? And it could be McFarlane or Mattel, it doesn't matter. Not import. I don't want Mapix list because they're like $100 per figure. So yeah, not really worth it. But McFarlane or Mattel would be worth it because they're cheaper, they're more affordable, So that's why I want to talk about it. So that's all.